Namaskar, this is Akhilesh Bhargav. Welcome to Tidbits on Business and Finance with me. The Indian economy has been contracting, and that's because the lockdown and the close down of the country continues. In the first quarter of this financial year, that is until June 2020, the economy witnessed a contraction by 36%, and for this financial year, the overall contraction of the economy is expected to be in the range of 10%. India is no exception. Every major economy is witnessing a sharp contraction and reduction in their economy. That's what is happening in the case of US, UK, Canada, Australia, and every EU nation, and Japan, of course. The pandemic crisis and its effect on the economy is there to see, and because of that, unlike in the past, this time, the government is in no compulsion or need in order to doctor data and show a rosy picture. The picture can't be made rosy, it is there out in the open. While the economy is contracting this time, in the earlier years leading to this status, the economy was actually shrinking. Its growth rate was shrinking. On a quarter to quarter basis, on a year to year basis, the overall growth rate of the Indian economy has been shrinking in the past few years. In 2016, our GDP grew by 18%. The next year, it was 7%, and then 6%, and then 4%. And then in 2020, India's GDP growth had fallen to a worrisome rate of below 4%. That's also been the case of quarter to quarter growth. In the first quarter of financial year 1920, the economy grew by 5.2%. The next quarter was 4.4%. It then fell to 4.3%. And then in the quarter ended March 2020, the Indian economy witnessed an all-time growth, a low growth of just 3.1%. And these growth rates that we are talking about and quoting are actually the doctored growth rates. The actual growth rates were actually lower. And that comes from a statement and admission by India's own former chief economic advisor and also India's former secretary S.C. Garg, both of whom are on record saying that if the growth rate reported by the government was about 5%, it means the real growth rate was about 3.5 or probably 4% at the most. As we said, the real economy was much weaker than what was reported. According to us, that was bound to happen. And that's because in the past few years, the economy has not been well managed, it has not been well governed, and most importantly, execution of policies has been poor. Take the case of India's MSME sector. It's a crucial sector for our economy. It provides jobs to 120 million persons. It contributes to about 40% of India's manufactured exports and to about 45% of India's manufacturing GDP. This sector has been in crisis ridden. Its condition has been deteriorating year after year, quarter after quarter. But then the government chose to keep ignoring it. And what it did was to selectively try to resolve the crisis of the sector by having schemes like 59-minute loan or Mudra scheme thrown in without any strategy. It did not work. And what we are seeing today is a crisis-ridden sector. Here's a year-wise review of the crisis-ridden MSME sector. And we have chosen the crisis-ridden journey of the MSME sector because to us it mirrors the real economy. Let's see, why did measures of the government or why did things not take off and we've come to this state of affairs. Let's start with the year 2014 and 2015. These were years, according to us, of euphoria. The catchy slogans and promises of minimum government, maximum governance, Achhe Din, were all in the air. Expectations were there, euphoria was there. And because of that, in that year, private consumption was high, government spending was high, and that contributed to growth of the Indian economy. In that year, the growth of the economy touched a rate of 8%. But then, as we said, it was fueled by private consumption and not by private investment. And that's where the problem lies. It was in these years, it was on the first Independence Day speech of Prime Minister Modi that he had announced the Make in India program as the flagship initiative of his government to give a boost to India's manufacturing sector. It was expected that because of Make in India, the investments in India will shoot up. There will be a boost to skills, to jobs, to growth, to exports, and to the manufacturing infrastructure of the country, such that India might just become the factory of the world. So 2014-15 were years of euphoria, and that is reflected in the growth rate that took place. But as we said, growth rate started falling thereafter year after year. 2016, things were looking to be okay, but then came the demon of demonetization. Demonetization took the sail out of the winds of the MSME sector completely. It dealt it with a body blow. The MSME sector, the informal sector, the unorganized sector suffered immensely. Their businesses were lost, their cash flows went away, their turnovers were gone, and many of them even closed down. So, the demonetization program announcement of the government as one of its major initiatives actually hit the sector very badly. Let's come then to the next year, 2016-17. That's the point of time the government announced the IBC code, the Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code, as a solution to India's NPA crisis. It was expected to resolve the NPA crisis in a time-bound fashion, such that NPAs which were mounting would now start seeing resolution. It initially provided that NPAs would be resolved within a period of 270 days. That did not happen. The time has been extended to 330 days. It has still not happened. And a recent report of the CNBC says that just about 6% of cases have been resolved under the IBC, and almost 60% of the cases are witnessing no resolution, plus they are not within the time limit of 330 days. Therefore, IBC did not deliver the goods that were promised, which is resolving the NPA crisis, because of which the entire banking sector had come to be in a suffocated situation, not lending, things at a standstill. Banks also say that the IBC has failed to resolve their recovery issues related to small cases. Therefore, 16-17 witnessed IBC being announced with much fanfare. Nothing really has come out of it. It needs a major overhaul. 2017 then witnessed the onset of the GST in India. It was a much needed law that the government managed to pull through, but unfortunately, it came in a very complex format, in a very complicated mode. Many small enterprises in the inception decided to be out of it rather than get into its complicated rigors and face penalties and prosecution. Because of that, many of them went out of business. Their cash flow suffered, their businesses suffered, and most importantly, their working capital suffered. The sector again had a huge damage to it. The next year, 2018, witnessed the start of the meltdown or the start of the problems of the shadow banking sector, which is the NBFC sector, coming out in the open. In September 2018, ILFS collapsed. Thereafter, the next year, DHFL collapsed. And one could see that the entire sector is unstable, crisis-ridden. And that again added to the woes of the small sector. A lot of small entities tend to borrow from NBFCs. They are not able to access credit from banks. And this very sector which gave them money was now in a crisis, and that impacted the fortunes of the MSME sector, of the unorganized sector, and of the informal sector. 2018 also witnessed the government going with its determination to close down what they call shell companies. More than 7 lakh companies are reported to have been closed down. All of them were not into tax evasion. Very few of them were. But anything that came in the definition of a shell company was forced to be closed down. And in that process, many genuine enterprises suffered. They were again in the MSME sector. They were never able to, in fact, even revive their entire businesses because they got embroiled in court cases. Then comes the government's claim of improving ease of doing business in India. From 2016 onwards, the government went on a spree to ensure that India's overall ranking of ease of doing business in India, as per World Bank, should improve substantially. And the government's determination showed such kind of an improvement. In 2015, our ranking was 142 out of 192 nations. It then improved to 113 the next year. Thereafter, it came to 100. In 2018, India's ranking was 77 and then it improved to 63. It looked to be a very impressive situation where India's ease of doing business had gone up considerably. But unfortunately, that never reflected on the ground level. And that is further proven by the fact that despite India's ease of doing business going up, domestic investments never took off. They continue to languish. And that's the proof of the pudding. It was a mere ranking on paper, but did not really reflect on the ground. Further, what again disturbed the fortunes of these sectors was what we call the criminalization of business, tax, and corporate laws by the government. And in the process of that, many enterprises suffered, many closed down also. The fact also is that over all these years, while the sector was suffering, the government chose to be in a state of denial for sheer political reasons. It was only after the resounding victory of the BJP in the 2019 elections that the government started accepting that the sector is in a mess, the sector is in a crisis, and that it needs to be resolved. At present, after all these years of policies which never saw the light of the day, the economy presents a picture of contradictions and grim reality. We are in a situation where FDI has been going up, ease of doing business rankings have been going up, tax rates have gone down, tax reforms have gone up. But despite all this, domestic investors are not convinced. Domestic investments have been at a 30-year low and the MSME crisis continues. Wait for the lockdown to end. Wait for normal operations to commence after the lockdown ends. And at that point of time, you will actually see how bad the reality is. The real issue that comes here is we have been seeing the Prime Minister announce reforms after reforms in the last 5 years. But as Modi said, the real problem lies in execution and in governance. And that's where India faces a challenge. That's where the MSME sector faces its challenges. This is Akhilesh Bhargav signing off till we meet again. Namaskar.
Now be the first to know about the latest updates on our new news app. Go on your Android or iOS, search for HW News Network. Download our app, choose the language you prefer to get updates in, and be up to date with the latest news.
If you like this video, please share it and we would love to hear your comments in the comments section down here. Also, please do like our Facebook page and follow us on Twitter to get minute-to-minute news updates. For more such shows and videos, subscribe to our YouTube channel.